Hi, I'm Simon Hackney. Today we'll be painting this small acrylic 10 by 12 piece, and we're going to call it Forest Lake. It's aimed largely at beginners, and I hope you'll join in, paint with me and have a go at this one. Okay, thanks very much. Let's get on with it. I thought with today's painting we'd do a 10 by 12, and I think what we'll do, we'll work in acrylic, and we'll try to make a simple or simple-ish night sky, maybe with some sort of forest type silhouette thing going on in the foreground. Let's see what we can do. Let's get some paint on the canvas and we'll take it from there. First thing I'm going to do is put some black gesso on this canvas board and dry that with a hairdryer, and then we'll be ready to apply some paint. So just work the black gesso into the canvas board. Okay, I'll just give that a quick dry with a hairdryer. For any of you that watch my video on how to make a stay wet palette, this is it. This is the one we made, and the paint has been in there for a good while now, and as you can see from that, it's still as fresh as a daisy. Right, we're going to begin by getting a small round brush. Okay, and I like these are really cheap actually. I mean, you get 3 of these for £1, and quality wise they're absolutely rubbish, to be quite honest, but for doing this work they're fantastic, because all of the bristles, half the bristles fall out, but once they've stopped falling out, you're left with a shaggy, splayed, can you see that top on there? And it's ideal for stippling and doing soft stuff that we're going to be doing on here. So you'll see as we go along anyway, but that's what I'm using. One of these, or any round brush, hogshead brush would be ideal, but the tattier the better. And I'm going to start by going into some blue. I'm going to go into this, like an ultramarine blue, and a little bit of the pink there. And we're going to start somewhere up here, just stippling on, like so, some colour. And we'll take that down towards where our horizon roughly is going to be, or the actual horizon of the land anyway, of the countryside. On top of that we're going to have trees hopefully, so we'll see how that goes, but you know with me, I might change my mind halfway through the picture and see how we go. And of course we can work up to this, with this being acrylic, we can work up to it, we can work over it, we can do all sorts with it as it stands, because it dries very quickly. Okay, I think I'm just going to go into a little bit of white just on the tip of the brush and start putting in just roughly where we're going to have some highlight areas, lighter areas. Hopefully this will represent the Milky Way. maybe a bit impressionistic, but hey ho, you know. Okay, we've got something on there now. Something's starting to take shape. With that colour still on the brush, I'm going to go into some blues, and I'm going to go into, this is Prussian blue, and for night skies I always find this an absolutely fabulous colour. And a lot of my work, as you know, if you've watched my videos or been to my website, whatever, you will know that this colour features strongly in a lot of my work. I've always been very drawn to it. I think it's an absolutely beautiful colour. But the sky isn't all one colour, of course, so we're going to break this up a bit with some different blues and one thing and another as we go through. And the painting will of course change, it will change, you know, it's nothing's cast in stone, as they say. We're just going into autumn here, and we're really lucky at the moment. We were down the beach yesterday and it was still shorts and t-shirts sort of weather, you know. It's if anybody has never been to Dorset in the UK, you know, you should so come, because it's, without a doubt, it's the most stunning county I've ever lived in, without a doubt. It's totally beautiful. This is where I live, this is our beautiful beach, and this goes from Ingesbury House to the Isle of Wight on that side, all the way through the bay, down into the distance. Headlands there, you can see there, Swanage, Studland, right the way down through Bournemouth and into Poole. There's my beautiful wife there. Oh my God, how lucky am I? Absolutely blessed. Stunningly beautiful. And I've lived around a few of the coastal places in the UK, but for me, Dorset is just absolutely unbelievably beautiful. We've got the best beaches in the country, I think. Right, good. Okay, not too bad, it's a good start. I'm going to get some pink, and I'm going to actually come along the bottom of the area that we just painted, so nearer to the horizon, and I'm going to blend that up into the sky. Right, I'm going to try and work light into this and bring it up the canvas as the picture takes shape. Let's get rid of that bristle. There we go. Now I've just added a little bit of white to the brush. And I'm going to work this up into the sky area as well, so that maybe there's a little misty type element going on. And I'm just adding some blue here, and this is some of the phthalo blue, and I'm working that generally up into the sky, bringing it down and blending it with the pink. Add some proper light along the horizon line, something that we can work into as the painting develops. And we're going to put some trees along there, and we want something lighter in the background, so that when we do the silhouettes of the trees, they will in fact show up, you know, which is always a challenge when you're doing silhouettes against a night sky. So the night sky has got to have some light for the dark foreground work to actually show through, you know, which is what we're working on at the moment. Let's try and get some light in here. And as the layers are building, of course, you're getting that. You can see what I mean about it being soft. It's there's no harsh brush strokes on it. It's all quite soft. We're more or less done. Or I could, in fact, you know me, put a little bit of water in the image. So I think what we'll do is we'll take that pink and that blue that we started with for this, and just down here somewhere we will have some water. So what we're going to do here is apply some of that. Okay, so I hope you can see that. And what I'm doing is bringing the reflection of what I've done above down here. Like so. Now by doing this, of course, I'm making a rod for my own back, because it means when I do the scenery up here, I'm going to have to do some sort of reflection type thing going on down here. So what I've done here, I'm going to have to actually bring in some sort of reference to it down here. So we're back into the pink, back into the blues, and just stippling some sort of reference to what we've got above down here below. Good. And with some of our original pink, well, I keep saying pink. Doesn't tell you anything, does it? Doesn't tell you what it is. If I say pink, it could be anything. Our permanent rose. Taking some of our permanent rose and ultramarine blue, we're just going to tap in a reflection really of this. Okay, we're going to brush that out actually, brush it across. And we'll do more work on that as we come down to it. I'm just blending all this in there. Just to give us an idea of where we're going to be when we actually do the foreground. Okay, starting to take shape, I think. With the Prussian blue, I'm going to add some down here on the bottom, which will be our water area. Like so, and we'll go back into ultramarine blue, and obviously as we've got it above and we've got water down here, then we'll have some sort of hint of that going on down there as well. It's time to take some of the white, just get a brush, pick up some of our white, and this is pure white. If you look on my palette, there's two lots of white on the palette. One, I never get any other colour near, and I keep it solely for when I need to use pure white for anything. If it gets contaminated, then obviously you lose that. So if you get any other paint near it, you lose all that when it mixes. I'm going to use an old toothbrush. There we are. And I've got some white now mixed with some water on my palette lid. And I'm just going to take that toothbrush and start with a few ghost images really of stars. Nothing too, they're not too dense. I've made the paint quite runny. And now I need to go in there, and these ones down here, while they're still wet, I'm just going to drag across, and it will start giving us some ideas that this in fact is water down here in the foreground. I love these Daler brushes. These are only graduate. I mean, they're really cheap, but blimey, they're great brushes. You know, absolutely fantastic. It's a lovely softening brush. The main softening brush that I use is this one. Okay, and I use this for everything. I mean, it is just absolutely brilliant. And it's actually made by Polyvine, and it's a decorator's softening brush. Okay, so if you want one of these, you'd have to have a look online. Go to a really good decorator's store, maybe like Brewers or something in England, they do them. And I've had this for years, and it's top quality, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts as long as you wash it out. Particularly important with acrylic. Right, back into our stippling brush, our cheapo brush, back into some blues, and we're going to overlay bits and pieces now up here where we've got those stars spattered on there, so they're quite distant. Push them back into the background. It will give us an element of depth to our sky. And the thing is with a night sky is that when you're painting one, you know, it's very easy to make it look flat. And as we all know, when you gaze up into the sky, especially at night like this, I mean, the first thing you get a sense of is space, of the actual depth of what you're looking at. You know, the massive depth of everything that's going on up there. So I'm going to dip my toothbrush. You can use a paintbrush actually for this, so I might as well. I'll show you while I'm at it. Okay, so I'm just going to get a small filbert. This is a hog's hair filbert, and I'm going to dip it in the paint that we mixed up. Okay, quite a runny mix of paint here. Dip it in there, and we're just going to flick on some more stars, like so. Some down in the water again, of course. What's going to be the water. And as soon as you've done that, go in with this softening brush and draw them across. And you can see there that we're starting to get the idea of soft water in the foreground. Now this is something I'm asked about a lot. You know, people often say, blimey, you know, how do you do those star reflections? You know, I mean, what's the secret? Well, there's no secret. I mean, the secret is with oil, you can take your time, because you know, you haven't got that instant drying time that you've got with acrylic. With acrylic, of course, you need to actually spatter the paint on and immediately drag it in the direction you want it to go in. Okay, hope you're enjoying it, and if you do enjoy these, of course, please hit the subscribe button and press that bell next to it, of course. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to mix permanent rose and white. I'm actually mixing it straight in the palette here. Okay, so permanent rose and white, and we're just going to start putting a little bit of light here and there up in the sky okay, apart from the light in the centre. Alright, now we've got this in as just a background, just some background light. And of course we can then bring blacks, blues, etc. over that as we need to. This one I'm just going to change the shape of, make it a little bit more random. With a fan brush, I'm going to take some black and some water. Just put some watery black mixture here on the palette. And just draw that slowly and very gently across our sky area. Just working across maybe our Milky Way. And I'm immediately going to go in, I'm going to soften that. Now with our filbert that we had earlier on, I'm going to mix some more of this white and start spattering some areas of the actual nebula. I need a bit more water in that because it's refusing to leave the brush. That's what you find. Okay, if it's sticking to the bristles and it won't cooperate, add a bit more water. Okay, and the drier, actually the paint, if you can get it right, you can be quite controlled in the areas that you spatter. What we're trying to do here now is add some highlight to the Milky Way. So we've got some highlight and a point of interest to our Milky Way there in the middle of the picture. Now, as well as spattering light onto the painting, sometimes it's a good thing to put some dark on there as well. I'm just going into some water here. I'm going to pick up some blue. And this is phthalo blue mixed with black here. And it's very translucent, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it when I actually do it. But whether it will show on the camera, but it will certainly show from here. And we're going to actually spatter some dark in there as well. And the thing is with all of this, it's such a random thing when you're doing there. Now just soften that and bring that into the picture. There. Now that's starting to take shape now. That's starting to take shape. Just soften all of the overspray, blend it into the actual canvas. Okay, this is a small round hog's hair brush. Right, so I'm just going to spatter now some highlight in our galaxy, our Milky Way. Blend it slightly. I need to go back in and actually paint some stars into this as highlights, which we'll be doing very shortly. I'm just going to stipple some more blues into this sky. This is one of the things that people do. They look at the sky and they just think it's black at night. Well, if you look at a night sky, it's not, in fact. The actual classic colour name for that, of course, is midnight blue, but you find that there's all sorts of blues in it. There's not just one colour. And of course, by doing this, by adding these blues and everything else very gently, I'm pushing all of these little nuances and some of the stars that are on there previously, it's giving them colour, and it's pushing it back into the sky, into the distance. I'd like to give a shout out to all of the people that have joined my Simon Hackney Art Facebook group. I will give a link in the blurb at the end of the video, and there will be a link actually down here at the bottom somewhere, and it's well worth going on there. There's some fantastic artists come on board. You know, we've got some brilliant artists come on board, and it would be a great place to see beginners. I'd like to see some beginners out there, some people that have never painted really, or just very recently started painting. You know, come on, join. You know, press the button on Facebook and join the group, because it'd be lovely to see you. And with so many fantastic artists on there, too many to name individually actually, but you know, come on board, and these people will definitely, I mean, they will definitely be able to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. You know, there's an absolute world of knowledge on there at the moment. So one lady that I would like to mention and thank very much indeed for helping me with the group and being such a great friend as well for a good while now, is Erica Keating. And if you look for her on Facebook, please look at her work. She's known, her page and that is Forest Fairy Creations, I think, on Facebook. But look up Erica Keating on Facebook and you'll find it, and her work is absolutely outstanding. It's beautiful, and I'd like to give her a special thanks because she's admin on the group as well, and she's been just an absolutely fantastic friend and a really big influence on what I strive to achieve as an artist. So thank you, Erica. Let's add a few stars, particularly where there are small highlight areas in the night sky. Those little highlights that we did earlier on now will really show if you drop a star or two into those areas. Right, okay, I've just done some very fine spattering with the brush there. Very, very fine. As you can see, and I'm just going to put with the sharpened tip of the handle of one of my brushes, just a star or two in there like that. Maybe we'll have a couple more around the sky, something a bit bigger. Okay, that's not bad, that's pretty good, I think. That's not too bad. Now coming down to the bottom, to the water area, I'm going to take my my hogshair brush, and we're going to do some spattering down here now, just to try and emulate really what's going on above. So that about here, a bit of quite a bright area, and of course that's quite watery because we want to go in there and we want to blend that across the picture like so, which is giving us, as I said earlier, that's how we get our reflections. A bit of spatter there, and there's some sort of highlighty thing going on there, and definitely more here. Okay, and once again horizontally across the canvas in with that brush, okay, and with a softening brush. And it's very important to make sure you keep this clean. Make sure that you keep these softening brushes washed, and as soon as you wash them, dry them. Okay, I'm going to give this a bit of a spray. It's just water. And then I'm going to take a fan brush, and as you know, I use these for all sorts. Absolutely love them. And I'm going to go into black. And we're going to start putting in some scenery of some description. Now this, I'm literally just laying in a couple of shapes here. Hopefully into that I'm going to add some trees. Okay, now this is all done with a fan brush. And I'm just using the corner of the fan brush, and very gently just putting in, by moving backwards and forwards across the trunk, the silhouettes of some trees. Okay. Back into the black. Some on the other side here. Roughly paint a line where your trunk's going to go, so you've got something as a guide. Okay, and we're just going to paint in a few simple tree silhouettes here. Nothing too fancy, and nothing too tricky or difficult. Okay. Maybe one down here somewhere. Just general tree shapes, that's what we're looking for. Okay, just grab a flat brush like this. We're going to come into, dip it in some water. We're going to come back into this paint while it's still wet, and we're going to drag down some sort of reflection from that landmass there. Same both sides. actually dip it in the paint that's already on the canvas, and it should start to come down, start to draw it down the painting, like so. Okay, run across. Like so. Okay, that's taking shape, that's not too bad. Now I'm going to go back into my fan brush, back into the black, and then we're just going to do basically the opposite, more or less, of what we've done here, but I'm going to do these a lot more random, okay, so that they're so you just got the impression of a darker reflection there, okay, where the trees are on the land opposite. As soon as you've done that, drag across with your softening brush. Okay, you've got to be quite quick at this, all that paint dries on your softening brush and you don't want that. Okay, so just a hint, just a few shadows, reflections here, like so. Alright, and once again straight in with a softening brush and just drag that across. Alright, that's starting to take shape now. We can see some sort of reflection going on down here. We've got some trees, you know, it's not too bad. We've got a nice sky coming together there. Soft, gentle, nice painting so far. Good one for beginners, this. Really good. Okay, now you're probably starting to know the procedure for this by now. So we've got a palette knife here, okay, several sorts you can use, you know. I'll use a few, depends what I'm doing, different sizes, you know. Okay, whatever. This is the one I tend to use mostly, this one. Alright, and I'm going to take some white. Now this is a pure white in my palette. And I've picked it up with a knife, I've put it on my palette lid and I've just drawn it out with a knife. And I'm going to take a little roll of paint just on the edge. Just on the edge of the knife. Okay. And then up here, we're going to start putting in our horizon. And just follow where you think the contours of the land would be. Okay, so obviously out there where the water meets the sky is slightly higher than down here, so the land runs down there. Okay, here it runs straight across. This side we're going to have it coming down like so. Give that a small blend. Okay. Now, shall we have something in the foreground? I think we should, because it's looking a bit like it needs it. So, bravery test. Where are we going to do this? We're going to do this here. I think we'll need something. We need something here. Something there. And I think what we'll do, we'll go into black. maybe some blue, black and blue there, and we'll add something quite randomly here. Okay, so we've got some sort of land type thing going on there. We're going to go into some black, and here to there somewhere we're going to draw down a tree. So with the edge of the brush from here we're going to bring a big old tree down there. Prussian blue and white. Okay, and we're just going to add a touch of highlight here and there on this tree. Now with this pale blue on this brush, just using the very corner, I'm just going to add a small highlight or two to these background trees here. Very gently, just with the tip of the brush. And the same here, of course, in the background here. Maybe some bushes and that growing there. And as I said earlier, as sometimes happens as a picture develops, you start to change your mind, you start to have new ideas and different things start to appear in the actual painting. And this one now has become a lot more busy. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I quite like it, I think. It's not too bad. Just add a bit of shadow back where this tree would be. Here. Down in this land area here. Let's just drag that down. Drag down a bit of a reflected area. Add in some more reflections here, I think. Just randomly drag those down. And here, drag those down. Drag those down. So I'm just going back to my knife now, picking up some paint. Just going to actually put in now where this new area of land goes. Right, now I think with that we're going to call this one done. Definitely. Hope you enjoyed this one. And as normal, please subscribe if you like them. Hit the like button and I think this one is ready for a signature. Okay, thank you very much for watching and for joining me on this one. I hope you give this one a try. I hope you enjoyed it, and as I said previously, if you like these, please hit the subscribe and the like buttons, and come on over to Facebook and join me in the Simon Hackney Facebook art group. This one's going to be available for sale on my website, and to anybody in the art group there will be a 15% discount on the actual price of this, though it will be for sale unframed. Okay, that's another one done. Until next time, catch you later.